Come gather around and lend her both your ears. Granny's got some stories from her golden gaming years. She rocked a controller and a joystick in her hand.
Back in my day,
she said with a grin,
I beat Tetris so hard it started to spin.
She played Minecraft while making a stew. She built a whole castle in a llama zoo.
I was in Fortnite skydiving so bold. From bronze to silver, I've got dreams of gold. Here's my story, come along and see how games bring me joy and they're fun for me.
From pixel lands to battle so wow, she's just a granny, but she's gaming with style.
Some say I'm old, but I'm young at heart. With every new game, it's a fresh new start. So grab your controller and let's press play. Together we'll game the day away.
Don't forget to smash that like button, share this video. If you haven't done so already, subscribe and click that notification bell for future uploads. Now let's get into today's story.
Granny here. Just a little disclaimer before we begin our video. Today's video is for entertainment purposes only. While some of the things that I'm going to talk about today are going to be fact, other things are straight up fiction, and some things are in between. They can't be proven or disproven. With that being said, let's get into this. So my daughter and I are into a lot of paranormal stuff and cryptids, that kind of thing. It's really interesting to us. And she brought up the idea that I needed to do a story about the weird things that are happening on Antarctica. Now, from what I gather, most of the videos and things like that were on TikTok, and I don't have TikTok, don't want TikTok, don't need TikTok. So I use YouTube and other Google sources as my medium to gather research information. Anyway, one of the things that I had trouble finding was anything about the weird happenings, but I did find a few things. The Y Files is a great video that talks about some of the weird things, and I'm going to leave a link in the description to their video because it really helped with some of the fictional type stuff as well as a little bit of the factual. With all that being said, let's get into this. So the game that I chose to go with this is Antarctica 88. Obviously. Antarctica, a game about Antarctica, it worked. Now, I'm not too fond of the game so far, but it was $3.50. What can I say? Anyway, Antarctica is the bottom of the world. It's roughly 5.5 million square miles, and it covered in about 98% of ice. While this continent is mostly uninhabited, it is a research hub with various research labs on it from quite a few different countries. The climate is frigid with average temperatures around negative 71 degrees or so. No country owns Antarctica, but it is protected by an Antarctic treaty system, which designates the continent as a scientific preserve. Now, some say that it's hard to be able to go to Antarctica. Antarctica, you can only go to certain places. Now, in the research that I have looked up, they claim it's not that hard to go. You just have to have a tourist company that has a valid permit that allows them to be able to be in certain areas of Antarctica. And yes, there are restricted areas. There are places that you cannot go no matter what kind of permission that you have. Unless you're working with whatever research facility or whatever, you're not getting in. Now comes the crazy part. So apparently at some point in time there was somebody that posted on, I believe, Reddit originally, and they had been on Google Earth and just kind of scrolling around the Antarctic territory and terrain, just looking around, I guess, being bored. I've done similar things. But he claimed to have found a image that looked like a giant spider or spider-like creature that was there. When he posted this to the internet, apparently this image that was there was later covered up. They kind of put a blur over it so that you couldn't see it. Another person gave coordinates to another location on Antarctica, which showed like a building that had entrances and whatnot to it. But when they put that on the internet, supposedly on Google Earth, if you go to that coordinates that it showed, it's now blurred out, so you can't see that either. Which is kind of crazy, but it's kind of like Area 51 type stuff. Nothing major. The governments let you see what the governments want you to see. And anything else, they'll cover it up, blur it out, redact it, whatever. Okay, so anyway, as the story goes on, you start to see just different things that he's telling. You can tell that it's fake because it's almost like he's taken some of it from a movie called The Thing and kind of just wrapped it all up into this thing. So while the credentials that he showed might have been realistic, they can easily be faked as well as everything else. So, do I believe that there are giant spiders on Antarctica? No, but it's kind of cool that this came out, and it does make you wonder what could be there. I mean, it's Antarctica. It's not like people are there all the time. Who knows what's frozen in the ice? At one point in time, we used to believe, I guess some people still do believe, it could be frozen. So like the cryogenics thing. And later on, when we found a cure for whatever disease that you had, that we could thaw you out, give you a jump start, and bring you back to life, and you'd live forever, or whatever. So who knows if that's possible? I mean, there might be things in the ice that are frozen that even if they can't, bring them back to life, who's to say they couldn't be like Jurassic Park and get some of the DNA and bring some of these prehistoric creatures that may be frozen in millions of years of ice and bring it back to life somehow? Who knows? I mean, I'm sure it's possible. If we can clone Dolly, what was it, a sheep, and make a sheep that's basically the same being, I guess. I don't know, because they were genetically the same. Anyway. So, going on with a little bit of reality that might go with the giant spider thing. There are spiders that are called sea spiders that are in the ocean. Most everywhere, these sea spiders are like the size of a mite or like a piece of sand, maybe. But scientists in Antarctica had discovered some that are the size of dinner plates. And they're not real sure as to why these spiders have mutated to the larger size. It could be the fact that there's less oxygen in Antarctic waters due to the frigid cold, and therefore it lowers the metabolic rate, therefore allowing growth rates and things like that. Takes less food and energy and whatnot for these things to grow. So maybe it does allow them to grow at a more rapid rate because of that. But they're not real sure. It could take years to actually study this and find out for sure. There are some other interesting characteristics about these spiders. Characteristic is the fact that it seems like they can shed their legs if there's something wrong with it. So if they are injured and their leg is defective, they can shed it and grow a new one. There also doesn't seem to be anything preying on them. So they don't seem to have predators because, they've witnessed like fish getting eaten by whales or sharks or whatever, but these spiders are just swimming around Antarctica and it doesn't seem like anything at all is disturbing them. So that may also be another reason why they're able to grow. If there's nothing preying on them, they're living longer. If they're living longer, maybe they're growing bigger. I don't know. That's a possibility. Okay, so one of the other little things that came out in my findings from Antarctica is in the early 2000s, there was a Japanese vessel that claimed one day when they were sailing the Antarctic waters that they saw this large 60-foot mass. They claimed that it had a head and arms similar to that of a human, but had a tail like a fish. A 60-foot thing that's all white swimming, I think I would have just, like, I don't know, cranked the boat up on get out of there, and I'd have got. But anyway, they claimed that when they saw it, it looked humanoid and it had black eyes. Well, there's several things that could have been. Okay, if it's nighttime, which is what they claim, it could have been a beluga whale. Now, no, they don't get to 60 foot, but they are white and they're big. And their eyes kind of look like that, I guess, kind of black, whatever. So I guess I could see where they might have gotten confused or mistaken. There's also been people who said that they claim that there was a photo that was taken of this thing on Google Earth. But when they went back and researched it, it's just what you would guess. Icebergs under the water. I mean, that made the most sense to me, and I did see some Google images that did look like what they were describing, but it was an iceberg, and you could tell it was an iceberg when you examined it closer. Anyway, the Japanese call this creature the Ningen,Ningen, Ningen, or Ninian, I'm not sure how they say it, but it just simply means human. So they called this thing that looks like a human, but anyway, I don't know. Anyway, some of the other things is there's a giant hole that was found that had a lake, and so like there's ice around it and under it, but there's like a lake that goes down that's in the middle of this ice, and they claimed that there was an octopus type creature down in this lake. But today in 2025 we have cell phones. Everybody's got one. And some of these cell phones you could probably make a movie with. In fact, I think iPhone actually has a commercial where they talk about you could shoot a movie on your iPhone. It's got so many features and things like that. So where are all these pictures? I mean, if people are going to Antarctica on vacation, and yes, I get there's a lot of area that you can't go. There's very little area that you can't go. I get that. But you would think that even these government officials or researchers or whatever, somebody's going to spill the beans. We can't go a day in history without somebody blowing the whistle on some company or the government or whatever. I mean, we've got Eric Snowden. Remember him? He blew the whistle on how the government was listening into people on their phones or recording devices like cameras or TVs or whatever. So my only thing is, with the technology that we have today, with all the people that are in this world that would just blow something like that up on the internet because they'd want to be internet famous. And I get a lot of people might say, well, they were afraid to be unalived. Well, okay, that's great. You might be afraid of it, but there's always some crazy idiot out there that isn't. Either way, this made for a really fun story. And I absolutely enjoyed it. And I can't wait to do more paranormally type stories. And if you know more about the weird things going on in Antarctica, please leave me video links or whatever, comment on there and give me information. I would be happy to do a part 2. I absolutely love this paranormal stuff. And I wish I would have found more. Like, I was so excited to do this paranormal type cryptid, um, you know, Antarctic video. So it was really enjoyable for me. With that being said, if you like to watch just people playing games, make sure that you head over to Gaming Granny 74 at YouTube and subscribe to that channel. On that channel, I play whatever game. I play tons of different games. Sometimes I play with my grandkids. Mostly I play alone. I do have some videos on there where I play with my oldest daughter. We play 7 Days to Die. We play Ark. We play all kinds of stuff. And we'd be glad to have you over there too. Now, if you have any future videos that you'd like to be seen, subject matters, whatever, please leave it in the comments below. If you have a game that you want me to play and put a story with it, leave that in the comments. I will do my best to match a game with the story. There may be times, obviously, where I just have to put a story and a game that don't necessarily go together, but I do it just for the fun of it. Because there's a good story, but maybe there's not a game in there. A good example is my grandson wants me to tell of a story or find a story, a true story, of a person who, like a kid that runs away with their dog and lives out in the wilderness for a while. I don't know that I'll find a story like that, but I sure don't think I'll find a game that goes with it. But I'm going to do everything I can to try. Anyway, with all that being said, I want to thank you for watching. I want to ask that you hit that subscribe button, share this video, leave us a comment. Even if you just want to say hi, we respond back. Don't forget that if you subscribe to me, I do subscribe to you as long as I can find your channel. If you are not listed as an open channel, it will not show up in my list of subscribers. So just leave me a comment, I subbed, and I'll go to your channel from that, and I will get subscribed to it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this crazy episode. We'll catch you on the flip side. Keep gaming, people.